that will join with many other hundreds and thousands and millions now around the world who are fasting and praying, believing God for a supernatural breakthrough without any limitations. So whatever the need is, sometimes God puts us into a desperate need to show His power. Look what great glory Peter's imprisonment turned to the glory of God. What the king Herod thought that was going to bring great praise to him turned to be a great praise to the King of Kings, not just an earthly king. So God can turn things around when we begin to focus where God wants us to come into. So don't give up. Pray without ceasing. You say, what does that mean? How can I be in constant prayer? You always live in an attitude of prayer. You don't have to find a certain place or a certain posture or a certain thing to say. When you live in the spirit of prayer, you can pray a prayer any split second in any situation and move the hand of God because you live out a lifestyle of prayer. So God wants a people of prayer, a church that prays. When the church prayed, things happened. It wasn't going to happen to James. It happened to James. We're not going to let it happen to Peter. Oh God. It could have been a different story. Could have been that if the church prayed for James like they prayed for Peter, that James too could have been delivered. We don't know, but I believe there's something that says it could happen. I'll have to let Brother Armistead check that out for me. But how many know that when the church got a hold of God in prayer, they said, this happened to James, it's not going to happen to Peter. They got desperate, got a hold of God. I believe that if we get desperate before God, we can turn the tide. You say, but the situation's so big. The problems are so great. The nation's so much trouble. We have seen the nations turned by the power of a praying church. Nations in other nations have crumbled, broken down, wept, and turned to God.